Evening everyone, and welcome back once again to Vicious Rants, and of course I'm your host, the one and only, the often imitated, never duplicated backyard superstar Tim Vicious. And with this one, talking about this past Sunday, Hell in a Cell, may throw in a little bit of Raw, we'll just have to wait and see. Either way, I know a lot of people have been saying a lot of negative shit on Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. I thought it was good. I mean, I'm not saying it was like, oh my god, this is the best pay-per-view of the year good, but it was okay. It was good. I liked it. You know, I give it a... I know I'm prone for doing this a lot, but I give it a 6.5 out of 10. Anyways, first match of the night in the pay-per-view, it was Cody and Goldust versus the Usos versus Reigns and Rollins from the Shield. It was a good match, but my big thing that I always ask all the time, if it's a triple threat tag team match, why not have all three parties in the ring at the same time? You know, I mean, yeah, you do it like that and just have it to where that person can only tag their team, you know? You know, it could lead to more double team moves, people working, doing a short-term alliance, screw jobs, things like that. It can work. But anyways, the match was pretty good. It was but if anything, my big gripe with it is I'm getting sick of seeing the Usos being force-fed down our throats as tag teams, and I know I've said it millions and millions of fucking times before, and I will keep on saying it, and I don't give a shit if you don't like what I have to say, because if you don't, like I keep on telling you all the time. Anyway, my big thing with the Usos is I don't see them as legitimate tag team. They don't do anything to give that big wow factor to where you look and you're like, oh wow, look at that tag team right there. They're pretty good. No, because I can name several different tag teams that gave that kind of factor. Taker and Kane, Road Warriors, New Age Outlaws. You know, those are just three right off bat. You know, I could go on. And this is coming from somebody who was a tag team wrestler for a good portion of his career. You know, I spent a lot of time tag teaming. So I don't want to go and I'm not trying to toot my own horn or stroke my own ego saying I know what I'm talking about with this. So I don't want any of y'all thinking that I am. But I'm saying, as somebody who did a lot of tag team work, I can tell you right now, I don't see any kind of wow factor that they give. They throw out the same kind of generic moves any other tag team could. Kick to the gut, okay. They do a super kick to the gut, ooh, wow. They could do a huge body splash from the top rope, okay. The only thing that they do different that most teams normally can't is they both do a suicide dive at the same time. You know, that's my big gripe with them. Anyways, the match was pretty good. Goldust and Cody wound up winning. Cody hit the crossroads, got the pin, 1, 2, 3. You know, and anyways, next thing, they got Miz coming out right afterwards. They got Miz coming out, calling out Bray Wyatt, saying, even though he's not medically cleared to wrestle, he's here to fight. Which, really, what the fuck? Why have him do that if you're gonna have him come out, say he's looking for a fight? Why are you gonna have him in his gear? Why not make him look like he just came off of the street, pair of jeans, t-shirt, a hoodie or something, and then say, you know what? I'm ready for a fight, so come on, get your ass on down here, boy. You know, something like that. You don't even have to do that kind of verbiage, but just come out like that to give that kind of a feel like, okay, yeah, you know what? I can't wrestle, but I'm still willing to fight and do that. Either way, Wyatt's came on down, and just as Owen and Harper, just as, excuse me, head cold and sinuses, so I'm kind of, ugh. Anyway, right when Rowan and Harper were in the middle of stomping a new one in the Miz, Kane's music hits, which thank God, because I'm going to admit it. I will admit it here and now. I don't say I'm a mark for that many people, but I have been a huge mark for Kane since day one when he debuted at Bad Blood in '97. And I remember watching that pay-per-view specifically. You know, and I seen him, I was like, holy. And, yeah, for a guy that's in his mid-40s, Kane still moves around great. He's a great guy to see in the ring. I have seen him on TV. I have seen him live. He is a great performer and, in my opinion, probably hands down a 4-star general in the ring. But either way, Kane comes in, takes out the Wyatts, and then takes out Miz. And the way they built that, it was like he's going back to his evil monster ways where, you know what, I don't want your help. I don't need your help. You all better stay away from me. You know? Next thing you know, on Raw, Kane wound up doing literally a quick squash match on Miz, and then called out Stephanie with her, now that she's in her 40s, it's a very much obvious bad breast boob job because they stick out like frickin' lawn darts, like the machine guns from the chicks in Austin Powers. And he calls her out and says, this monster is now yours to hire, and was saying it's like best for business, and walks away, takes his mask off, and then gives it to her. And now all that's saying for sure is he's probably going to go back to like on how he was when he first lost his mask, you know, where, not saying he's going to have the towel on him, you know, but he's going to wind up being like that kind of monster where he's going to hurt and break anyone and anything that gets in his way, which I am so looking forward to seeing. Anyways, next match that they had, it was Fan Samurai looked like Big Bird as a stripper, or Fan M. Night Shyamalama Ding Dong, or something like that, doing a mixed tag match, and everyone was thinking, Santino. I was even thinking that for a minute, and then, all of a sudden, the music hits, jaws drop to the floor, because it's the one person that looks like a reject from The Hills Have Eyes, Khali. And of course, Natalya, because having a fart gimmick is obviously well above working with Khali. Yeah, it was, why book Khali on there? He is, honestly, I've seen people with no arms and no legs work a ring better than him. Yeah, I wish I could say I had this as a bathroom break, but I didn't even, because I didn't even feel the need to have to go. But I just looked in sheer, oh God, what the hell am I watching? The only time, I was really impressed with seeing Summer Rae in the ring working. Yeah, she's a good girl, works really good in the ring. Not 100% sure, I think she's one of Ric Flair's daughters. I'm not 100% sure. I know Flair's daughter, I think she's either Flair's daughter or Flair's daughter is in NXT. I don't know. But if she is Flair's daughter, I could see that she's got, I feel sorry for her on the fact that she's got a hell of a legacy to try and climb up, because her dad set the bar pretty high as far as on how people are going to view her. But she did phenomenal in my book. So, I consider that her breakout match in as far as what WWE goes. I know I'm not knocking her stuff in NXT, I'm saying as far as went on the main roster. Anyways, she wound up getting the pin on Natty, got the 1-2-3, fan loser for life, and Summer Rae won. In which case Summer Rae, if wrestling don't work out, I do have a stripper pole in my living room, so if you're interested, she isn't really gonna call. Next up, they got match they wound up announcing apparently on the pre-show. I didn't know. I never watched the pre-show. I always get to the place where I go to watch the pay-per-views like 5 or 10 minutes before the show starts, and I spend all that time doing meet and greet with everyone that I'm there with, catching up with everyone and knocking back coffee like it's water. Anyways, Ambrose versus Big E. I thought it was a very impressive match. I'm liking on the fact that they're having Big E go face now. They just need to give him more time to work with the mic to help legitimize him with being a face, as opposed to just having him fight all heels. But the match, it was good. The whole time I was just thinking, alright, if Dean really wants to show he can hurt him, he's going to have to go on how he was in Combat Zone days. Not saying go hardcore, but I'm saying go aggressive like he was there. But it was a good, solid match. I was disappointed with the ending. Big part that I was disappointed with the ending, that the fact that Dean wound up rolled out of the ring and let it count out. Next thing you know, Big E came back, started wailing on him, and that was that for that match. Next thing you know, they got one of 2 Hell in a Cell matches, because that's right, folks, because this is a gimmick pay-per-view, and it's supposed to be quote-unquote the most dangerous pay-per-view of the year. They're only going to do 2 of those gimmick matches. Think about that for a minute. Because if anything, it's not like when TNA does that Lethal Lockdown pay-per-view, all of their matches are in cages. To emphasize that, something like that. I think it would be good if they wound up doing, for the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, have them be all confined in the cell. But anyways, it was CM Punk with Ryback and Heyman. Big thing I absolutely loved right at the start. Punk came down, then Ryback was standing at the walkway, and then Heyman came out, and all I could think is, Heyman's got his own little personal ring, just like Bobby Heenan used to. Which I thought that was a good joke, and I even put that out there on Twitter saying that, but apparently nobody else really thought it, but anyways, I felt really sorry in that match, more so because Punk had to carry not just Ryback, but the fact that he had to carry the emphasis on using the cell, on it being a Hell in a Cell match as well in there. That was my big worry and my big problem with that. Seeing Punk do, I call it Hail to the King, just like with Jay Lethal, with the Randy Savage elbow drop. He did the Hail to the King on Ryback, right through the table, wound up doing GTS, 1, 2, 3, after that, got on at the cage, and then climbed on up to go and started caning Heyman, which case, hey, cranky asshole, you ever want to go and do some caning again? I still got the one you gave me, so you hit me up on that. Alright? We wound up caning Heyman, and fuck, I just missed putting that back. There goes that cool guy there goes that attempt to try and look cool, putting that away while talking. Fuck. Anyways, He wound up Kane and Heyman. You know, he wound up going at him like if he was in Singapore and he was in and that was his punishment. Which case I'm getting sick of them calling it a kendo stick, even though it is. Why not just call it a Singapore cane? I am sick of people being frickin' politically correct all the fucking time. It's annoying. Anyways, next match they had was Primo and Los Matadors versus the Real Americans. And first and foremost, I flat out refuse, to do the Ole chants for them until I see El Generico. And I'm not talking Sami Zayn, I mean El Generico. Because then I will do the Ole, Ole, Ole chants. No problem. But either way, they came out. Swagger and Cesaro came out. Do I really need to explain on who won in that match? The only real thing that was really impressive with that was Cesaro wound up doing the swing like 30 or so times. The Matadors got the win. Primo and Epico got the win. You know, it felt, this pay-per-view, the big problem on why I feel like this pay-per-view was like a 6 to a 6.5 out of 10 was because very little time to build up the hype and the heat needed for the rivalries for this. I mean, they could have done so much more if they'd have had more time to work with, but you gave us 3 weeks to work with. You gave them 3 weeks to work with. Now, I do want to mention, though, that I don't remember if it was during the Punk and Ryback match or the Matadors and Real Americans match. Something wound up getting leaked out that TNA was going to be put up for sale. In which case, easy enough. Here's my idea for an idea. Mask Mark, don't get mad. This is me doing a fantasy booking. I'm not trying to do gimmick infringement. Easy enough. You get me and you get a few other people. We all buy TNA, and instead of making it TNA for Total Nonstop Action, no. We take out that name altogether and make it XXXCW and make it 70% porn, 30% wrestling. We can get contracted wrestlers, have independent wrestlers, have independent strippers. You could do that. We could do scenes like that. I think that would definitely work. It would definitely sell to the 18 to 34 male demographic. If you're interested in doing that, hit me up. I'll work on it, hands down. Anyways, wanted to just get that out the way. Next up, World Heavyweight Championship match between Del Rio putting it on the line against John Cena. Yeah. Definitely didn't like seeing him back. It was nice seeing Del Rio get very aggressive and hitting the arm very hard. But here's the thing. Now, this is just me. I'm not 100% sure, but Del Rio's signature is the cross-arm breaker. It puts pressure down on the elbow right here, to where it's like that, to where you either, like this, I should say, with the finger. And, you know, I don't see on how that's going to wind up hurting the tricep. Because I've been putting an arm breaker, and I haven't had anything like that ever hurt there. You know? And I've had sore and strained and pulled triceps, never torn, no. So, but really wasn't all that. I mean, if Del Rio and Cena, they do got good ring chemistry, but I just really ain't a fan of Del Rio with his gimmick. Good wrestler got handed a bad gimmick, you know? That was a big problem with that. And Cena, you already all know how I feel about him, because the second I hear the news that he accidentally fell into a meat grinder, I'll be whistling while slowly backing away from the crowd. Anyways, big surprise, woo, yay, Cena won. Ugh. At the very least, maybe, emphasis on maybe, they'll try and have him use his popularity and his credibility to put more credibility back to the World Heavyweight title. Either way, hey John, how's it feel to be a mid-card now because you got that belt? Next match was AJ versus the one Bella that didn't get the boob job, whatever her name is. Either way, I swear I smell syphilis the second that either of them start to get shown on TV. You know, they're the ST Divas. That should be their new tag team name. But their match, AJ and Brie, it was a pretty okay, it was a pretty good match. I kind of liked it, you know. And it was a pretty good match. I know AJ went for the Black Widow. It got countered, you know, but AJ wound up hitting it. AJ wound up getting the win. I'm happy on that part. Really don't want to see either of them two getting wins or getting more of a push than they deserve, because in all honesty, the only reason why either of those girls or either of the ST Divas are getting a push is because of whose dicks they're sucking and the fact that they're on a TV show. That they got their own fucking reality show. Woo, ah, hey, yay. No. Try busting your ass for a good 5 to 10 years and then talk to me about earning a push. You know? Anyways, big thing that I wound up busting out laughing on was they had Bob Backlund and Primetime Players doing the Millions of Dollars dance right after that. And, you know, and they were plugging the new WWE game. Anyways, last match of the night, Randy versus Daniel Bryan for the WWE title. Shawn's the referee. It was a good match. It was a nice, good, solid Hell in a Cell match on how, you know, especially given on how the PG on how it is PG now. It showed that you don't need to do things like toss people through the cell or over the cell or things like that to sell it. To sell that this kind of match is dangerous. You know, they did a lot of good work with it. I was really happy. Big thing I wound up flipping out on was Daniel tossed in a whole shitload of chairs, and all I could think is the infamous chair incident in ECW where Terry Funk and Cactus Jack had all the fans tossing chairs in. I wish I could have been there for that. But they wound up doing that. They tried to sell that Daniel Bryan got superplexed from the top rope onto the chairs. Didn't really. You know, hit the bottoms, you know, his ankle or the bottoms of his feet wound up catching the chairs. That was about it. That was about it. Anyways, you know, they did that, and then Shawn wound up taking a bump, fell down, which case, I swear, you know, even though Shawn had a very long career, took hundreds of dozens of bumps, I swear, I think it's any time anyone ever wears a referee shirt, the second they take one shot, it's the shirt. It's the curse of the referee shirt. They take a shot from it, boom, they can't take a bump. They can't take a bump. The first one they hit, they fall down. Like, ugh. That's it. But Shawn took a bump. Hunter went to go get the cage open, to go in and check on him. Next thing you know, Bryan sees him and he's getting pissed. In which case, if you've ever seen nah, thought I had an angry goat joke. I got nothing. But Bryan wham, hit Hunter with the running knee, and then while Orton was already down, Randy went over, or not Randy, fuck, talking too fast. Get your shit right, man. Bryan went over to Shawn, was like, Shawn, you gotta wake up, Shawn, wake up. Shawn got up, wound up going over, and Shawn hit Bryan with the sweet chin music. Randy went on top of him, got the pin, 1, 2, 3. Randy Orton's the new champ. You know, now, I know a lot of people are saying they're getting sick of seeing the Randy Orton, Daniel Bryan feud with it being just one-sided with Randy all the time. I am too. Now, if they're gonna end this at Survivor Series, what they should do first, more than anything, is, or even yet, what they should do, have Bryan pick up nothing but victory after, have Bryan have all the momentum going to him instead of having that underdog feel like he's been getting nothing but losing and getting his ass handed to him and this, that, and the other. You know, from here until from here for Survivor Series and even TLC, if they wind up deciding to do that. But either way, I think that would work really good. You know, and that was a pay-per-view. Like I said, I give it a 6 to a 6.5 out of 10. But you know, what do I know? I was just a yard tard. But either way, that's all the time got for this episode. So like all normal, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, go back, watch all the other episodes. Look for me on Twitter at Tim Vicious. Look for my backup Twitter because I get thrown in Twitter jail every now and again. Tim_Vicious. Check out Axel Mulligan's blogs. He does them on Raw, SmackDown, pay-per-views. Sometimes does NXT. Really good fan, very smart, educated fan. Knows what he's talking about when he's talking about the business and the sport. Always a pleasure to have a conversation with him on it. Check out Oliver Ben's TNA Turnaround Show. Even when I'm not on it, you know I every now and then I'm on. It's always a pleasure being on there. Also, don't forget to check out all these cool-ass cats right here on Twitter. My brother from another mother, James Steele, JX2001. That Roxy Girl _ it's V bitch. James, Roxy, and Vicky all have their own YouTube channels. Make sure y'all check them out. I am Danny Sunday, Mucky Morris, Helen Robinson 82, Meow _Cakes, Jerry Soriano, Team Custom Made, Cranky Asshole, Stacy Impact W Fan, Legion Lady Aaron, Legion of Nerds. And like I keep on telling you all the time, you love me great, you hate me, fuck yous.